Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. Tonight, it is a Wednesday night. It's the middle of the week, and we're talking about Gobots. Because, let's face it, it's been stressful. There's lots of things going on in the world, and what better way to kind of wind down from all the anxieties of work and politics and everything else than by taking a sit back, having an adult beverage, and talking about toys that are awesome. So this is something that I mentioned on last week's live stream, and I wanted to just spend an entire evening talking about it. In our local neck of the woods, there's a half-price books. And I don't know, is half-price books a thing that's like everywhere? Okay, so hopefully you have a half-price books near you, because half-price books is a really awesome place because you can get books for half price. Usually cheaper. But see, that wouldn't have been as funny. So I had to do the half price. So anyway, and they get other stuff. They get toys and games and video games and stuff like that. And our local half price books got an entire collection of Gobots in a case. And all the Gobots were in really good looking shape. And they were selling them as a whole set. They weren't parting them out. They wanted to sell the whole lot. And they were $200. And we didn't buy them. Because as much as I love Gobots, and this was a nice set, a lot of them were ones that I already had. And $200 is a lot to spend at one time for Gobots. I mean, $200 is a lot to spend for car parts, or for an electric bill, or for a phone. So it's definitely a lot for Gobots, but so we kept checking back every month, and they would say, check back in another month, and there were other people asking about them, and everybody had the same question. They said, can we break up the set? And they'd be like, not yet, and people would make offers and stuff like that. And it's like, not yet. So finally, about 2 weeks ago? Yeah, about 2 weeks ago, we knew that the manager was going to be in there on a Tuesday. And Monica went in and made an offer, and they made a counter offer, and Monica said yes. And so we got a big box of Gobots. That's right. Big box of Gobots. Every single morning, it was driving me crazy. I said, Mom, what's up with all the Gobots? And she leaned right down next to me and looked at me like a cow looks at an oncoming train and said, they're good for you. I know. Nobody's getting that reference. But you know what? Actually, Brandon Spicer and Michael Spicer, if you're out there, you'll get that reference. So that's for you guys. Oh, and Laura, you'll get that reference. So yes, there's 3 people that will get that reference. And so while we're talking about friends of the channel, let's go ahead and have a toast to the awesome people that have shown up in our chat. We've got Sean Shago, a toast. See, yeah, you have to take your time with this. This is not a chugger. This is a sipper. Kyoji, of course, you've been here since like about 10 minutes before we even started. So that's awesome. You almost have to breathe the scotch. You breathe it. And we've got Machiavellic. Hey, Machiavellic, thank you for joining me on a Wednesday night. And of course, we've got Monica. A toast to the lovely and talented Monica, without whom I would be able to do any of this. Without whom I wouldn't be able to do any of this. I've got too many negatives in there. I don't know what I'm saying. But a toast to you anyway. And a toast to Retrobot. Retro Buddy, this is to you. And, Machiavellic, please say hello to Amanda for us. So, a toast to Amanda. And, tonight's live stream is not sponsored in any way by Aberlore. Aberlauer. This is a 12-year-old, right? Okay, so 14-year-old single malt scotch. So, we are winding things down in style, and just so that you know, with something like this, you breathe it. And then you sip it. Swish around a little bit. And then let it roll down the back of your throat. And it feels oh so good. And especially if you're in a colder climate like we are, then it feels great and it will warm you up for the rest of the night. So let's see. Sean Shago says, do yins know about T-Buster World Domination? It's a super fun Korean show. We have the giant robot that's part of the show, and it's awesome. I'm trying to find another near in... I've heard MIB is mint in box. I guess maybe that's near mint in box, or maybe it's just a typo. But either way, no, I am not familiar with T-Buster. New in box. New in box. Okay. So, see, I thought it was mint in box. Okay. New in box. It is not a typo. Shame on me. I should be punished and have to drink more. So we're 7 minutes into this live stream, and I have not even shown you what the live stream is about. Cue the side camera. There we go. Look at that. It's really in great condition. Now, the hinge on the bottom was broken, so you can see I've put in a screw here, and you can see a little bit of peeling happening at the top. But other than that, this case is in very, very good shape. And this is actually a nice collector's case. I remember seeing the vinyl collector's cases for figures for Transformers, and I think they had them for Star Wars figures, and they probably had them for Matchbox cars and everything else, and they would just print them differently. And those cases never impressed me. They're kind of squishy, and they always just kind of felt dirty. Like, as soon as you got them home, and they would almost immediately stop being shiny and get these smudgy marks that never ever went away. But they were essentially made of Trapper Keeper material. Yes, they were, except you know what? Trapper Keepers were cool, whereas these were uncool. And so I have to say that the hard plastic of this carry case, I mean, this is something special. And you can see the ribbing around the handle here. That is not going anywhere. And even my adult hand is pretty comfortable carrying that, so that is pretty cool. And then you have these nice little clasps on the sides that keep the lid closed, and so I'm going to give it a little tip backwards in case I've shifted things forwards, and then we can see Gobots! A whole box full of Gobots! That's right! And here, I'm going to flip this around this way, because, and you know what, since we've got Airwolf playing, then I'm just going to go ahead and pull out one of our Cop-Tur guys. And let's see. Yeah. So we've got sort of a Cop-Tur here. There we go. And let me do them up. Now, it's a mild criticism, or it's just an observation. It's not a criticism. It's an observation that a lot of the GoBots don't just fit in here. Yeah, I've had to kind of partially convert a lot of them in order to get them to fit into their little cubby holes, and that's really fine. I believe that this is wrong way. Okay, so the previous owner of this case put the little stickers on, and so they've labeled all the little cubbies, and they labeled them this way. Now, see, if it had been me, I would have turned them upside down and labeled them the other way so that the part with the handle could be the top. But I understand, now we're laying it this way, but it just seems upside down to me. And so they have this one big cubby that has flip top and wrong way, and they're both helicopter guys, and wrong way here is a renegade, and then flip top here is a guardian. I want to call him an Autobot, but that would be wrong. He is a guardian, and so since we've got the Airwolf theme in my head, then I'm talking about the helicopters. And okay, we've got Savage Shark, and can you give a shout out to Soren, Sean's son, who is watching? Well, can I? All right, Sean, I am not surprised, but nonetheless terrified that there is another Shago in the world. Hello, Soren! It's great to see you. I am so glad you're watching. Thank you for joining us on a Wednesday night. And this could be tea. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything else than tea. So, wait, here. This toast is for Soren. And then this toast is for Savage Shark. Good to see you. And I see that Savage Shark is helping me to remember the names of my helicopters, so thank you very much, Savage Shark. I appreciate it. And so let's go ahead and let's kind of move the Box of Gobots out of the way, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull out the helicopters, because GoBots did a lot of helicopters, or at least, they did a fair amount of helicopters. I feel like they were far more willing to do helicopters than Transformers were. So we've got Cop-Tur. Oh, wait. Here, we're missing part. Wait, let me see. This is that way. I can almost get it. Okay, wait. I have to take off my... Did I ever show you my my wedding ring? This is my... There we go. That is my Autobot wedding ring that my beautiful wife Monica gave to me, and it's pretty awesome. So, but it's getting stuck as I try to reach inside here to get Cop-Tur's rear rudder. So there we go. There. Oh, almost. There we go. Okay, and then it goes right in between here. And I guess I should put that camera into focus, because you don't want to watch me do this stuff out of focus. That is no fun for anybody. And so there we go. Does the wife have a Decepticon ring? You know what? I did not get her a Decepticon ring. The Autobot ring was a surprise, but you know what? There is an anniversary coming up. So, or Christmas. So yeah, we can get you a Decepticon ring. So yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I had to have the internet tell me to do that. That there's something wrong with that. So and Monica does love purple. So yeah, Monica is always the Decepticon in our relationship. Just so that you know, she is definitely the Decepticon. So let's go ahead and we will set these things up and do some focus here. Focus. There we go. Yeah, looking good. And then we'll have Wrong Way and Cop-Tur. And then we've got Flip Top. I don't know why he's Flip Top. Because rudders spin, they don't flip. They are on top. I don't understand that. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and take a look at these guys because they are pretty cool. And this is Flip Top. Oh, Blue Thunder was able to fly upside down. Okay, well, then I guess he could flip his top. I don't know. He's blue, and Blue Thunder could go upside down, so Blue Thunder up. I don't know. I'm trying here. I'm trying to do something special, but I'm not succeeding. This is a really good example of why GoBots are awesome, because you look at this little helicopter and it's got so much detail and it's such a nice form of a helicopter, and it's really well done. Even the stickers look pretty good even after like more than 30 years. And that it's a nice helicopter toy in its own right. And oh, by the way, it transforms into a robot. And so now all of the GoBots helicopters have the feature where you need to remove the rudders. And one thing that you will notice is that my rudders are snug fitting. What was that? Propellers. Okay, not rudders. They're propellers. They propel. Okay. So, anyway, I am being corrected by my loving wife, and she is correct. They are propellers, not rudders. So they propel. So you will notice that mine fit kind of snug. I added just a little bit of super glue to the ends to make them snug because they fit very, very floppy. And they were always falling out, and I just don't like that. So I made them a little bit tighter while not inhibiting the spinning feature. So let's go ahead and set the propeller aside. And and Cheeky Boy is here. A toast to Cheeky Boy. Thanks for coming out, Cheeky Boy. We're looking at GoBots. So, back to Flip Top here. We're going to turn him into a robot. And so there's several steps here. I'm going to start by splitting up the tail. And then I'm going to pull the tail section out. Just gently. It always makes me nervous when these things don't want to slide, because I really don't want to break them. There we go. And that forms the legs. And then we've got the arms here that are formed by the front, and the hands are kind of getting caught a little bit. So let me just try and get this. There we go. So you give them a little bit of a twist there. You have to kind of pull them back, and then you do a number like that. And then we flip around this whole thing, And that goes on to the back, which is really nice. And then we can do a little twist of the legs. And now he is a robot. And then if you want, this is one where you actually could just leave the rudder on his back, the propeller on his back. This is going to be another thing like beetroot, where I have adopted the wrong word, and I'm just going to continue saying it forever. So this is Flip Top, and he has a great robot mode. I mean, that is a really nice looking robot mode. The proportions are nice, and this is one of the things that GoBots really had going for him, because you consider that this guy would have been comparable in price point to a figure like Cliff Jumper or Bumblebee, who had much better marketing, but was a much worse figure. Yeah, this guy is not super deformed. He is completely formed, and he looks good. His colors are nice. The proportions are nice. I love the propeller on the back. It's like if somebody's sneaking up on him, then he can be like let's say that he's on an alien planet and he's just kind of walking around, and then, oh look, it's Wheelie coming up, and he's like, hey pal, what you doing and how? And then he's like, and yeah, thank you, that was good. So yes, he has toe slice action. And, Sean says he has toe slice action. That's a deadly kick. Yeah, he definitely does. And, but it's pretty cool. I love the propeller that's on the foot here. And that's pretty cool. I mean, compare this guy to Vortex, which, granted, Vortex could combine and become part of Bruticus, but his robot mode sucked. Or Blades, the Protecticbot Blades. Another one who had, he was a combiner, but he was another Scramble City combiner, and his robot mode was really not very good. And then you didn't have any other small-sized Transformers that were helicopters. They would reserve helicopter transforms for the bigger guys until the Transformers Armada line, when you got Jolt, who was the Minicon partner to Hotshot. And then they did a couple versions of that. And then I think that we started getting some Minicons that were helicopters by that point. But that was years later. That wasn't part of the original Gen 1 line. I think in Gen 1 Transformers, you didn't get any helicopters unless they were either A, big, or B, really bad Scramble City combiners. Who are you thinking of? Monica seems to be pinging something. Was there one where the helicopter... Yes, there was a Duocon, and that was Battle Trap. And, Battle Trap was, there were two Duocons, Battle Trap and Flywheels. The Battle Trap was the one that had wheels, and Flywheels was the one that turned into a tank and a military jet. I feel like there was a naming mistake there. But nonetheless, yes, he was a helicopter, but he was a mid-range size figure, and he had no arms. He had no arms. I had him, and when I was a kid, I ended up with an extra Trax, a Junker Trax. So I took the arms off of Trax, and I made them plug into, he had holes in his shoulders where the weapon would go, and then they just sort of molded in the impression of an arm for his robot mode. So I just made these Trax arms plug into the hole so that he actually had arms. It bothered me that he didn't have arms. But enough about that. So that is Flip Top, and he is really, really cool, and I really like him. I'm glad to have him. He's in great shape. He has a little bit of a loosey-goosiness here that at some point I may just add a little bit of glue to stiffen up, but you know, I'm always very careful when I do that because I don't want to freeze these in position, and I have done that, which is always sad and terrible when it happens. So let's just set him down and let us take a look at Wrong Way. Once again, now, you know, I will say that Wrong Way as a name is far better than, like, well, Cop-Tur or Blador or Rotor or Fightor. You know, Wrong Way has more personality to it, and so even though I don't understand why he's called Wrong Way, I'll just accept it, and it's fine. It's a perfectly serviceable name. Once again, I have added just a tiny bit of glue in there to make this not quite so loosey-goosey. I've actually already got one of these in my collection, and the other one was also very loosey-goosey, so I think they're all just like that. But let's go ahead and set the propeller aside, and we will turn him into a robot. And so we're going to start with the back here, and we're just going to split the tail very carefully. Always being careful. Careful. And then you can actually put up the head and flip down this little panel so that you can see the head. And then the feet pull out just like that. And they go like that. And then the waist is going to swivel. And so this is actually a pretty, you know, it's certainly not like a regular figure size transform in terms of complexity, but it's got some moves, and that makes it an interesting toy to play with, and he's got a serviceable robot mode. The legs, you have to kind of slide them out at the hips, and they tend to want to go back together. It's not a big deal. And in this one, the head is a little bit floppy. It kind of wants to duck back down in. He doesn't have hands. There are no hands molded in there. You just have to kind of imagine that he has hands. For a figure of this size, that's really fine. I'm just going to go ahead and point out that Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee barely had hands, and there were tires that were much larger than the hands. So, you know, that scene in the Transformers cartoon where Bumblebee was playing a video game, that couldn't have happened because he wouldn't have been able to reach the joystick. So, yeah, that's propaganda. All right, Hasbro, I'm looking at you. Propaganda. Bumblebee could not play that arcade machine. I'm just saying. Couldn't do it. So, yeah, this is Wrong Way. I like this robot mode. He has a really, really neat body, and this is one where he transforms. He really transforms. Yes, you have the very recognizable tail of the helicopter for arms, and you have the cockpit here for the legs, but the legs look like legs. And the body looks like a robot body. It stops looking like a folded up helicopter and really looks like what it's supposed to be, a robot, in this case, from Gobotron. I never liked the name Gobotron. It's like, where were the idea police? Okay, because they should have gotten a ticket. It's like, oh, they're called GoBots. They come from GoBot. Robotron. And it came out before Transformers, where they had Cybertron. Cybertron sounds cool. That sounds, you know, that they're not from Transformeratron. They're from Cybertron. But Gobots, they're from Gobotron. And why is it that both of these lines were about alien robots from a Tron planet that bring a civil war? I mean, was that the only idea on the table? Okay, I guess that was the only idea on the table. Oh, Tracy is here! Oh, okay, well, wait. Oh, we don't want to do that. We want to grab this. This is a toast to Tracy. Thank you for showing up, Tracy. It is lovely to see you this evening. Share a 14-year-old scotch with me. Ah, that warms it. Yep. I can feel that go all the way down. So, thank you, Tracy. It's a pleasure to see you here. We are talking about Gobots. Oh, yeah. Gobots. So, yeah, I think that I've pretty much said my piece on Wrong Way. He does have his tail rudder here, and that's a great little weapon. You know, I could see him chopping people up and just slicing and dicing and filleting and doing other food type references with, even though Gobots presumably don't eat food. Although, I'm just going to point out that in the Gobot Command Center, there was a cafeteria. Make of that what you will. So, try saying rotor instead of rudder. I am incapable of saying rotor instead. I'm gonna try. Rotor. He has a rotor. It's a rotor. The rotor. Row. Okay, you know what? If I call it a rudder again, you can feed me worms. Okay? Think of him as a Gobot named Rotor. So, Wrong Way. Your name is now being downgraded to Rotor. Oh gosh, I really don't want to eat more worms. I ate worms on the last live stream and they were not good. And I'm honest about this stuff. I will tell you when the bugs taste good. And if you're shopping for bugs to eat, go with the grasshoppers. They are delicious. Don't do the grubs or, you know, whatever. Yeah, they're just yuck. So, Machiavellic says, hey guys, random question. I'm thinking of getting the Masters of the Universe Origins Battle Cat until I can get the Classics Battle Cat to go with my Masters of the Universe He-Man. I've seen him going for about $20 and wanted to know if it'd be a good idea. Thoughts? Well, Machiavellic, I can do you one better than giving you an opinion of him. I'm stalling because Monica ran out of the room to go get it. And, okay, here we go. Very good. Because, has this been opened yet? Oh, okay, well. Oh, it has. Okay, because, you know, I don't want to do, I mean, this is Monica's. And so, you know, if she hadn't opened it yet, I wanted... So yes, this is the Battle Cat, and let's go ahead and take a look. Does anybody in the chat mind if we divert a little bit and show Machiavellic Battle Cat? And there's a real life Battle Cat that apparently objects. So let's go ahead. You've opened some part of him, I'm sure. Oh, okay. I think I see which side. So let's do this. I'm gonna slide him out. And pull out Battle Cat here. Well, hello there, Dudders. Do you need on my lap? Okay, we're gonna... Come on. You know you want up here. Come on. There we go. There we go. It's Dudders. Dudley likes being on camera. Yeah, you're a good boy. Your butt smells a little bit like cat poop. Yeah, just a little bit. There you go. There you go, sweet kitty. Yeah, oh. Yeah, oh, is that the good stuff? That's the good stuff. Yeah, shake it off. Shake it off. There you go. He's a sweet kitty. I love Dudley. Dudley's my friend. All right, so that is like real Battle Cat. And okay, is this an original He-Man? Okay, so we've got an original He-Man, and we are going to show original He-Man on new Masters of the Universe Battle Cat. And I have to say, he fits pretty well. He seems to fit just fine. So if you're thinking of getting the new Masters of the Universe Battle Cat for an original He-Man, I'd say no problems here. I don't want He-Man to fall off. The mask has the eyes painted on the outside. That's a little weird. I guess it helps it to line up because his regular eyes probably would not. But yeah, it also means that when the mask is crooked, it really kind of makes him look kind of derpy. But I'm digging the Battle Cat. He's got a lot of posability, and you know, you can. Well, he's got some posability, not a lot of posability, but he's got some posability. You can move the appendages, which I think is more than you could do with the original Battle Cat. Yeah, it was just a molded figure. So yeah, you can see the sculpt. He's looking. Can I get it to focus in? Come on, camera. You can do it, camera. You can focus in on him. The camera is not. Okay, we're gonna switch cameras. We're gonna switch cameras so that you can see Battle Cat. And yeah, it's a very nice sculpt, and you do have some articulation here. Not a lot, but more than you could with the original. So yeah, Machiavellic. I would say that it is. This is. Now I'm an old fogey who feels like, oh my gosh, $20, but that's the going rate for a toy of this size, and I would say that overall it's a pretty nicely made toy, and he is compatible with your original Masters of the Universe figures. So yes, there we go. Battle Cat from Masters of the Universe, available at Walmart right now, and I am not subsidized by Walmart. I am not sponsored by them. I don't get anything, but it doesn't mean that I couldn't be. So yes, going back to GoBots, we're talking about helicopters right now, and oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you too much. How about the classics figures? Oh, classics figures? You mean like... what are you... I'm not sure. Okay, we're going to find out here. I'm getting information. Classics are a little bit different, but I don't have any of those. So, we don't have any of the classics figures. I can't tell you how well they would fit. I can only speak to original Masters of the Universe, and of course they fit the new Masters of the Universe. So, because those are pretty close to the exact same scale. Yeah. So, yeah. So, there we go. So, back to my question actually about Classic He-Man. Sorry. No worries. Thanks for the input. Okay. I'm glad that we could help. I like answering questions when I'm able to answer them. On my other channel, the questions are a lot harder. They usually involve how to fix whatever on a car. So answering questions about toys, that's easier. So we're going to take a look. Here is Cop-Tur. And Cop-Tur, I mean, he shouldn't be as cool as he is. Because, here's the obvious, okay? This is the stuff that haters of GoBots will point out and be like, GoBots are stupid. There, look, there's a face on the bottom, and he's just a robot with his legs kind of folded a little bit and his arms folded, and that's the way they all transformed. He's not a very good guy. And you know what? I'm just gonna call bullshit. I'm calling it bullpucky for our younger viewers. I shouldn't have said, the other thing. Bullpucky is the proper word. See, Sean, I remember the Soren's here, so bullpucky. And what Cop-Tur is fun. He's just fun. There's a lot of room in the vast repositories of different transforming robot toys for toys with simpler transforms and toys with more complex transforms, because that makes it fun. Sometimes you don't want to spend 20 minutes changing a figure. Sometimes you just want to be able to go and then make some helicopter noises and he's a robot. That's cool. And also they made it so that he can hold his rotor. See, I said rotor. I don't have to eat worms yet. So if I can get through these few helicopters, I'll be safe. He can hold his rotor, and you can even take this one and you can put it there because he's got claw hands. So wait, here, let me show this on the other camera because I know you can't see it very well on that camera. So he's got his claw hands, which are great because it makes him able to hold stuff, and that's cool. And his robot design is simple but classic. And the thing that I love about this figure is exactly that he is just very simple. There is something really fun about being able to, in a matter of seconds, pull these things apart and then flip in the arms and then stick in some rotors, and you can tell I really don't want to eat the worms, and then stick in these, and it's like, okay, I'm Cop-Tur, Cop-Tur, I'm a big dumb robot, at least if you believe the Hanna-Barbera cartoon that I was Cop-Tur, and I serve Psy-Kill, and I can fly just as fast as Leader 1, and that doesn't make sense, but okay, because I'm Cop-Tur. And actually, you can ignore the TV show. The TV show, in my opinion, is responsible for most of the bad reputation of GoBots, because it was bad looking. The animation wasn't good. The character models weren't good. There was no cool factor to it. Everything looked like it was made for a juvenile audience, whereas Transformers, they had some, depending on which episode you were looking at, there was either some pretty good animation or some really, really bad animation, and those ones very oftentimes ended with Devastator. I don't know why, but there was one animation team that always ended their episodes with Devastator, and they were always the cheapest looking episodes, but they looked like they were animated by the GoBots animators. You know, you would have legs that just went up into hollow parts and stuff like that. It was awful. But GoBots, they didn't have any episodes that were animated well. They all looked like that. And they're just kind of cheesy and stuff. So you have to forget about the TV show and imagine that Cop-Tur is, you know, he might be like, I just got done reading Hamlet. It was quite compelling for a human work. And Christopher Remley is here. So, a toast to Christopher Remley. And Savage Shark says, what I love about Cop-Tur is that he could use his propeller for a weapon like Dinobot. Yes! That was another thing that was something that they did right on the show. One of the few things that they did well on the show was giving some of the characters a special power. And with Cop-Tur, he would throw his rotor and it would go and chop through stuff, and then people would dive out of the way, and then a rock would explode, which strangely enough is exactly the same strategy that they had for avoiding Crasher's attack, although hers was the coolest. Crasher absolutely was the coolest. So I really, really like Cop-Tur. I love his blades. I love his look. I love his colors. And yeah, the face on the underside bugs me. It always bugged me. But at the end of the day, he's just a fun toy to have, and he's a great addition to the collection. And I'm so glad to have a really nice condition one. I've got another one that is not nearly in such good shape. And here's a sad story. When I was a kid, I had some GoBots. I didn't have many. I had Turbo, I had Cop-Tur, and I had Tank. I did not have Leader 1. I did not have Psykill. I would have loved to have had those guys. And then I started, and I didn't have a lot of Transformers. I built them out of wood. And then my dad, I think, threw away my big box of wooden Transformers, and the GoBots were in that box. And I lost all my GoBots. Why, Dad? Why? My dad's no longer with us, so you don't have to worry about me making you step away. But still, I say to down through the ages, why, Dad? Why? So, anyway, Kyoji says the bad animation studio on Transformers was called Acom. Okay. Yeah, they were bad. And they loved using Devastator. Like, the episode where the Triple Changers took over the Decepticons, bad animation, ends with Devastator. The episode where the Autobots uncharacteristically hijacked the Constructicons and brainwashed them to become Autobots, which I'm not comfortable with that storyline at all. Of course, ends with Devastator, the one where the Decepticons somehow manage to replace New York City with a Cybertron city, and then at the end of the episode, the Autobots put it back. Ends with Devastator. And they were all really, really badly animated. Oh, it was awful, awful. I'm oh yeah, and Tracy in response says still stings. And you know what? It does. In fact, thinking about my lost GoBots and my lost father, you know what? Here's a toast to you, Dad. I forgive you. However, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep bringing it up. So, just so you know, I can forgive, but I'm not going to forget. So, that's our helicopter, guys, and I made it without saying rudder. So that's good. I'm going to put these guys back into their little compartments. We're going to just put that in there and put this in here and put that in there. And then we're going to take this off very carefully. Very, very carefully. There we go. And we got flip top. I wonder if it would be better to actually do this. Because, well, let's see if he fits in. Yeah, there we go. So flip top goes there. And then we've got wrong way. And I think wrong way, I'm going to have to do a little bit of finessing. Oh, here we go. Maybe, there we go. And put these down by a side. There. Okay. So, in this one, we have not one, but we have two dives, both in very good condition, both, unfortunately, showing just a little bit of fading. You can see that they started out as this blue color and now they're kind of an aquamarine. It doesn't look bad though, to be honest. I'm not hating on the color of this guy. I love this alt mode. This is a great vehicle mode. It's just, I mean, there's something very satisfying about the shape of the sub, and that it's just, I don't know, it's geometric, it's got rounded edges. I just really like it. It has little wheels, so it can roll. We can roll him. And then he has a pretty basic transform, which once again we're going to start at the back here. And we're going to pull on the legs, and then we're going to separate the legs. We're going to separate the shoulders, just like that. And then we're going to flip out the feet and rotate the legs. There we go. Oh, something just broke. Oh no! Look! The plastic broke. Well, that's no good. That is no good at all. Well, I will fix that. So I'm going to set this one aside. The nice thing is that it's a pretty clean break. I feel confident that I can fix it. A little bit of super glue and just make sure not to glue him to his other leg. So let's try that again. Preferably this time without the breakiness. And we're going to pull out the legs. And we're going to separate the hips. And we're going to flip down the feet. We're going to rotate the legs. There we go. And there we go. We got the shoulders on this one are a little bit tighter. And then we're going to, let's just, these go back here and just ignore those, okay? Because if you leave them down here or make them go forward, well, that's just not where you want them. That is not where they go, and that is not okay for television. So, whoa. Getting nervous when I start messing with his landing gear there. So, that is Dive. Dive is a cool guy. I really like this robot mode, and this one is nice and tight. His joints are tight. His proportions are great. once again, you know, this is something that GoBots did much better than Transformers in terms of having a mostly singular scale. And, you know, he's got this guy with nice big shoulders and with cool looking arms and legs. And you know what? He doesn't scream, "I turn into a sub." He looks like a cool robot. And yes, you can find the sub parts, but he looks like a robot, you know, not a sub that stood up. And that's really cool. My camera seems to be having a hard time focusing in on those shiny bits. I'm going to adjust just a little bit more. There, that's a little bit better. So, yeah, you can see him from all angles here. And he looks good from every angle. That's the other thing. He's got a really nice profile. He's just a neat character. And I don't even remember him from the show, but that's okay, because like I said, the show just wasn't really good. Joy is here! Joy! A toast to Joy! Thank you for joining us! And Joy says down Periscope. We know what you're talking about. A toast to down Periscope. Everybody toast down Periscope. And Machiavellic says, the GoBots say, we are this size and only this size. Whereas Transformers says, want to see Optimus Prime in Minicon size? Bam, you got it. So, a toast to Machiavellic for astute observations on Transformer sizing. So let's go ahead and we will put Dive back in his little cubby hole. And moving on, we've got Buggyman and Pincher. So here we go. Pincher is another GoBot monster, which we talked about during our monster live stream for Halloween. And he is cool. He is just very cool. Now, getting one that's intact is pretty rare. Because these are so thin and so delicate. I wish that they opened and closed. They do not. At some point, I would like to get a second one that is in a worse state of repair and give him bigger claws. In fact, I'd like to do that for all the GoBot monsters, because GoBot monsters were cool. This is another thing that Transformers did not do. He has this monstrous robot form, and then you transform him like that, and then you can rotate the arms around to face forward. This one is a little bit floppy. Bring the feet forward. Put the wings out. His head kind of doesn't want to stay up, but that's okay. At some point, I will tighten the joints on him, but I haven't wanted to do a whole lot to change these because they're so nice, and he does need a little bit of tightening here and there. But nonetheless, he has a very cool vehicle mode. He's got his little spiky things, so you can roll him around this way. And I mean, this is a guy that you can imagine that if he's chasing you, like let's just go ahead and we will select a GoBot or a transforming robot vehicle completely at random. So we've got Wheelie here, and let's say that Wheelie's driving along, and then Pincher comes up, and he's like, and he rips along the side, and then he comes back and he goes, and he just stabs him with these, and Wheelie would be gone. He'd be dead. And then, you know, it's possible that he even can take off because he does have wings, so he might be able to fly as well. I'm not sure, but whatever the case, he's really, really badass. And if he doesn't want to be a renegade anymore, he could easily get a job working with Batman. So that's pretty cool. Pinscher is a really, really neat guy, and I love the Gobot monsters. I just love them. And yeah, this is one of the things that I feel like is something that people forget that Gobots had that makes them really, really awesome. So yeah, that is Pinscher. And Pinscher, we will just put you right back in here. And wait, before I put you in there, let's get Buggyman out, because we got Buggyman. Buggyman looks great, by the way. So we got a dune buggy, and his name is Buggyman, and you know that's pretty cool. He kind of reminds me of Wonderbug. Does anybody remember the show Wonderbug? That was like, I think it was a Sid and Marty Krofft show where there was a dune buggy superhero, and it would turn into Wonderbug, and I don't know what Wonderbug was capable of doing, but he has, yeah, Wonderbug. So anyway, Buggyman transforms into Wonderbug. This is a cool looking vehicle. I really like this. And again, compare this to Beachcomber. Now, Beachcomber was probably one of the nicest of the Transformers mini cars, but you know, he didn't have any cast metal on him like Buggyman here, and he's got a great shape. Very similar transform to that of Beachcomber. And then here, we're going to slide the arms down. Did you hear how listen to that. Here, let me just get close to the microphone. Okay, maybe I can make... That's great! I mean, that's just great! He sounds so good! The little clicks, he's so good! So good! His colors are bold. You know, that neon green on the orange, that is not a color scheme that I've seen very often. And it wouldn't work except that he's also got the neon green numbers on black on his legs, and that kind of ties it all together. So he's got a very basic transform, a face on the bottom of the vehicle, but it works, and he looks good, and this one is in particularly nice shape. And best of all, he clicks, and he's got all these shiny chrome bits, and he's got the chrome headlights. I mean, he is just a neat guy. And another one. And this is the only time that I've ever seen him. This is the only one that I've ever had, and very, very, very nice addition to the collection. So that's Buggyman. He is cool, very cool. If you want a dune buggy, you will find none better than Buggyman. And the name works. You know, he's a Gobot whose name actually works. He's more of a buggy bot, but Buggytron. I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm pulling it apart too much. So also the windshield folds down, so you can do that. So yeah, you can do that. That's important that you can do that. So pretty cool. Yes. And let's see. So Joy says Wheelie is abused. Send $9.95 a month to my PayPal for the Save the Wheelie fund. Together, let's save Wheelie. No, Wheelie is not abused. Wheelie is my friend. See, he's He's not on the shelf or anything. Not on shelf, needing help. Shut up, Wheelie. So, I didn't really throw him. He's right here. Watching you. So, let's go ahead and set Buggyman in his little cubby. And we are over to Spoons. Spoons is cool. Spoons is cool. He's a cool guy. He's so cool. He turns into a forklift. All right, let me put down the little tines here and flip up the little chair. Look at that. He's cool. Has Transformers ever done a forklift? I don't think they have. I don't think that okay, Kyoji, this one's to you. Have there been any Transformers forklifts? Because I can't think of any. So, yeah, we've got Spoons here for the GoBots. Does Transformers have a forklift? So, and, I like that Kyoji's quoting Wheelie. Actually quoting Grimlock. Him Wheelie. Him friend, me Grimlock King. So, anyway, we don't need to go there. So let's see. Oh, Joy had this. Joy says she had this. So this is Spoons, and he is I believe that he's a renegade. He is a renegade, which, I would have thought he would have been a guardian. But what? Now look at what they've did, okay, or done. Boy, I just said look at what they've did. They've did. Oh, that's. I'm gonna blame it on the booze. So we've got a little chair here, and you can see there's even padding there for your soft human butt, and then you've got your big knobby tires. I love these tires. These are great. And then you've got the forklift thing, which does actually slide up and down. Look at that. That is super, super cool. So Spoons could be here, and let's just take somebody completely at random and say that Wheelie, whoops, oh, sorry, Wheelie. That was an accident, I promise. So Wheelie is just parked here, and Spoons goes up and is like, and here, wait, let's there we go, there. So and then he can carry Wheelie, and then he can be like, oh no, he dropped Wheelie, and then Spoons can just kind of plow away. This is a cool toy. This would be a cool toy if it didn't turn into a robot, and by the way, it does. So oh, let me put there. So, and this one in particular is in great shape. I do have another one in my collection that the wheels were broken off of the back, and I had to perform some surgery to put new wheels on him. But this one, his paint's in pretty good shape. There's some tiny scuffs, but not a lot. His colors look good. His decals look good. He looks great. And we haven't even gotten to the robot mode yet. So let's go ahead. Let's turn him. We're gonna slide the legs down like this, and then we're gonna bend them up like that, and then fold these up, and that makes the feet. And then we're gonna pull the arms out, and see the arms do something kind of interesting. They're going to slide up the side this way and then come down like that. And then we're going to take this here and fold that down and fold the seat down. We're going to do the same thing with the arm here, and I'm going to do this very gently. There we go. And then we have a head that's got a slider in the back, so you just do that, and boom, that is his robot mode. And his robot mode looks really kick-ass cool. He's got a great robot mode. He looks like a brawler. And I guess this is why he gets to be a renegade, because he does, he kind of looks, you know, his upper body is bigger than his lower body, and he looks like he would beat guys up. And I feel like he might like have issues with Wheelie because they share the same color scheme. So yeah, you know, we got, look at that. And I'm just gonna make a comparison. Gobot. Now, admittedly, this Wheelie is one of the worst Transformer designs ever created. I mean, let's be honest. This is... I kind of respect that they were going for something here, but look at that! These would have been similar price point. Actually, Spoons probably would have been cheaper, and Spoons probably came out first. But you know, Wheelie looks a little bit like an orangutan, and you know, Wheelie's got like an icon of a fist inside, whereas Spoons, you know, he's got fists that are made for punching. And you know, he can be like, yeah, you know, that's he's cool. So yeah, that is Spoons, and this is a great addition. If you only have one GoBot, then you know, consider getting Spoons, because Spoons is awesome. Great tires, great robot mode, just a really neat guy. So let's go ahead and put Spoons back in his cubby, and then we will pull out Turbo. Turbo was one of the first GoBot toys that I ever got, and sadly he got thrown away. And actually, you know, is the one that I have. I don't know if the one that I have is my original Turbo or if I got him later. I think he might have somehow escaped the purge, but I always loved Turbo. Turbo was, you know, I saw him in that blister pack and he just looked cool. And this Turbo still looks cool. He's got a little bit of faded chrome, but the colors are great. The tires are still in great condition. He's a neat looking robot. He is the type form for cool looking good guy robots. Now, I will say that when I was a kid, I had this toy and I imagined him having a voice kind of like a stereotypical Air Force pilot. You know, like, okay, Leader One, I'll do whatever you need me to do. Because, you know, he kind of looks like that. And then when they had the cartoon, his voice was like, "Hey, Scoot, what are you doing?" And it was like, wow, that's not the voice that I would have picked for him. It's got character. I will give credit where credit is due. But it was not what I would have expected for a guy that turns into a futuristic sports car, and you know, look at that car mode. I mean, you know, he's cool looking. I want a car that looks like this. Okay, right now I have a Dodge Charger, and I'm pretty happy with that. But, you know, if I didn't have a Dodge Charger, I would want a car that looks like this. My last car was a Saturn SC2, and you know what? Katrina looked a little bit like this. She was silver, not red, but you know, she had some lines. So, you know, really cool car mode. Looks great. This one especially is in beautiful shape. So, really happy, you know, even though I already have a Turbo, I'm really happy to have a second, especially one that's in as good of shape as this one. He rolls well. He's just, you know, if you want to, like, you know, dip the hood a little bit, it's like he's got an air vent or something. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So that's Turbo. Turbo is awesome. And moving along. So this, okay, now Transformers, I don't think ever had one of these either. This guy's name is Good Knight, spelled Knight, and he is a Rolls Royce. I'm not digging the sticker window. Okay, I'm just gonna say, GoBots have spoiled me. I'm not digging this sticker window. That just doesn't, that doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't fit with the GoBots aesthetic. I like the silver bits. He's a little bit worn. I wish that these tires here were painted. I mean, he's a freaking Rolls Royce. And that's pretty cool. And it seems that these tires have just been screwed on here, which means that they could have been molded in a different color, or they could have been painted or something, or, you know, they could have even just used an extra 2 of these wheels and screwed those on instead of molding these. I don't know why these are like this. He's also kind of monochrome. You see, like, you know, he's got these pipes here that kind of scream to be a different color, and he's got these seats that kind of scream to be a different color. And I know that I'm being picky, you know, because most GoBots don't have an interior that you can see. So why should I be so picky? But I will say that Goodnight makes promises that he doesn't quite deliver on, at least in his vehicle mode. And you know, he's not a bad toy. He's a Rolls Royce. That's pretty cool. But I will say that when you look at a vehicle mode like this as compared to, you know, like a vehicle mode like this, there's really no contest. Turbo looks great, and Goodnight just looks like he's lacking something. So let's see. So Kyoji says Liftor Smokescreen's Minicon from Armada. Okay. So there, and I found Smokescreen, but not his Minicon. I think that the Smokescreen that we got was secondhand. We got him at, I think, the Groovy store, and he did not have his Minicon. So, Liftor. I didn't realize that there were Transformers that had GoBot names where the comparable GoBot had a better name. Because Spoons, okay, Spoons. Now that's a little bit odd, because, you know, but I get it. It's Spoons. You pick stuff up. You pick food up with a spoon, but, you know, but oh, those are called spoons? I did not know that. Okay, I'm learning something. See, this is an educational live stream about toys. So yeah, Spoons, good name. I like the name Spoons. Liftor, ooh, it's like Fightor or Cop-Tur or, so, we got Goodnight here, and let's go ahead and convert Goodnight. We've got the back bumper that goes up like that, and we've got the front which extends out like this, and then the bumpers. Yeah, I want to be really careful with those because they are tiny, tiny, tiny. And then we're going to pull the sides out, and then the whole back end is going to flip around, and actually this bumper thing is going to come around to the front. That's what's going to happen. Or at least I think it's going to come around to the front. Is it going to come around to the front? It should. It seems like it should. That's weird. Okay, I see what's going on. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to rotate it this way so that the seats come out and around, and now this bumper can go down, and go like that. And now we've got Good Night. And he's in his robot mode. And here, we'll go on to the other camera. And his robot mode is perfectly serviceable. There's nothing wrong with that robot mode. It's a little bit underwhelming. The windshield again. It's weird that it's just there. I feel like it should fold up or something, and it doesn't. And maybe the reason this isn't made out of some kind of clear plastic is because the clear plastic tends to be more brittle than the regular molded plastic. So maybe that's why they chose to do that. His legs don't, there's not a whole lot of transform that happens here. They slide down just a little bit and they sort of come apart, but they don't really look like feet. So I would say that as cool as it is, that Good Night is a Rolls Royce. And that is pretty cool. The execution on Good Night is just not up to the standard that we've seen on pretty much any of these other toys. He's fine, but I'm gonna say that he's whereas a lot of these other ones are 8s, 9s, and 10s. He's more of a 7. So yeah. Sorry, Good Night. I still love you, but yeah, and maybe this is one that if I were to go in and do some detail painting, I think that would go a long way to helping this to just look better. A little bit of detail painting on those seats, on the tires that are on the sides here. Maybe do something with the windshield so that the inside of the windshield also looks like windshield. Like maybe I make a second sticker or something, or I don't know. But yeah, he needs a little bit of help. He needs just a little bit of help. And so if I do a little bit of detail painting, then I will show it and maybe take some pictures of before and after. Actually, I think I have a second one of these, so I can just show you the difference. So, but nonetheless, that is Good Night, Knight. He's like sword knight, and good night. So let's here's one, and I am so glad that we got this in this set, because the one that I have already is a little bit in a sad state of affairs. This is Geeper Creeper. He is a cool Jeep. He looks awesome. His vehicle mode is great. And I would say that this is obviously, if you didn't have Hound and you had Geeper Creeper, then you used Geeper Creeper for Hound, even though his robot mode doesn't look like Hound, but he's and his vehicle mode is much smaller. But what's funny is you put Gen 1 Hound next to Geeper Creeper, and they're about the same height. Geeper Creeper is not as bulky, but he actually is about the same height as Hound, which is funny. Not a whole lot to say here. Here's what I'm talking about. Look, with Geeper Creeper, they just took one of these tires and they added it to the back. Why did they not do the same thing with Good Night here, where he's got these extra wheels that are screwed onto the side? Just add 2 wheels. They're willing to do it with Geeper Creeper, and these are bigger, beefier wheels. Why didn't? So anyway, I'll get off that. So let's go ahead, and we're gonna transform Geeper Creeper. Geeper Creeper has a neat transform. I'm going to pull the bumper down and collapse the windshields here. And then we're going to pull the legs out from the sides. We can actually wait here. Before I do that, I'm going to flip out the arms and move them up and out of the way. And now I'm going to pull the legs out. And now while he's doing the splits, we're going to straighten out the legs and rotate them around. Get the bumpers out of the way. And now we bring them together. That is cool. That is a neat maneuver that you don't see with a lot of these toys. And that makes up his lower legs. And they look great. And then we bring down the arms. And then we can just pull up on the head. And he's got the gas can there. He's got the tire. He's got... he's got kind of a military hat thing going on there. He kind of looks like a Russian general or something, and so yeah, he sort of looks like a Russian general wearing a gas mask. So and that's creepy. And his name is Geeper Creeper, so that's creepy. He's got, a little bit of posability here. His legs move in tandem with each other, but because they can move out, you can at least do some things with them. His arms have a little bit of articulation because of the way that the transform works. So he's a really neat figure. His robot mode looks great. He really does have just a great proportions, and he's very distinctive, and he looks like a bad guy. And the name Geeper Creeper may be a little bit corny, but he's also kind of creepy looking, and he turns into a Jeep, although they spell it Geeper rather than Jeep. That's I guess it's, I don't know, Jeepers Creepers, but he's a Jeep, and that's J, but he's spelled with a G. Yeah. I'm looking right here at the sticker, Geeper Creeper. It says so, right there. So yeah. Now maybe they just didn't know how to spell stuff. I don't know, or maybe for trademark reasons, because a Jeep is a brand. Okay, a Jeep is not, you get in, the Jeeps make utility vehicles branded Jeep. It's called a Jeep, the way that we call facial tissue Kleenex, but Jeep is actually registered trademark. So maybe he's called Geeper Creeper to avoid lawsuits, because it's like, no, we were just playing off of the expression Jeepers Creepers, Scooby. So maybe that's it. But yeah, that's Geeper Creeper, and he's just fun. This is another one that I really like to transform. He's got that really cool waist motion thing, and then the way that his legs close around his waist is cool, and then he's got the folding bumper and the folding windshield, and the arms come out and flip in, and he is a cool guy. And I really, really like this toy. I like the other one I have, and I like this one. He is just a neat thing. And if you ever have the opportunity to pick up a Geeper Creeper, you want him because he's cool. So yeah, that's Geeper Creeper. I'm gonna fold the windshield back down and go down here, and now here we go. So Chris asks, does he got them peepers? Oh, does he? Jeepers Creepers, look at them peepers. Yeah, he's got the creepy peepers. There we go. Look at that. Yeah. And great detail painting. That is a tiny face. And yeah, where did he get them peepers? So yeah, that thank you, Chris. A toast to Chris for Geeper Creepers. I love the way that it just kind of fills my mouth. Like, Scotch is something that you don't so much taste as you breathe. That this is more an olfactory experience than it is a taste experience, and you continue to have that Scotchness emanating in your mouth. That's what's nice about that. Not that I actually know much about booze. I haven't been drinking that long, but nonetheless, Scotch. So let's go ahead and here is arguably the star of the show. Well, okay, I haven't shown Crasher yet. The co-star of the show. This is the co-star, and I'm stalling because he kind of fell down to the bottom of his cubby and he's hard to hold on to. Here it is. It is Scooter. Wait, here. He's in half robot, half scooter mode because he doesn't fit into the cubby in either one mode. So we're going to do that, and let's set the focal distance just a little bit further away so that you can look at him. And so Scooter, I have been wanting a GoBots scooter for years because this is a really, really cool vehicle design. You know, this is great. What they did here is so impressive. It's convincing, and it's complex, and you know, in the cartoon, they always put his face on the front here, and he didn't have, he was one of the few GoBots that didn't have a visible face in vehicle mode, and the freaking guys at Hanna-Barbera decided to put one there. Why? You know what? Everybody, I know it's just a Wednesday night and we're trying to be low key, but I need everybody to back away from their screens. Hanna-Barbera, come here. I realize that it has been like 35 years or something like that. But do you see a face on the front of this scooter? Do you see? Answer me, Hanna-Barbera. No, don't. Hanna, don't look at Barbera for the answer. You keep your eyes right here. Okay? Do you see a face on the front of this scooter? No, you do not. You don't need to add a stupid cartoon face to the front of the vehicle mode for a toy. I was always willing to give you the nod that when you would see Turbo in his vehicle mode and you would see the underside of the car, like he rolled over, the face was there because that's the way it was in the toy. And it's like, okay, you know what? They're being accurate. Okay? If I don't like it, but they're being accurate. I will give you accuracy, and Cop-Tur would be flying around and you'd see his face and he'd even be talking and stuff, and it's like, okay, I'll accept it because they're not so much in disguise as they just have these vehicle modes. Okay, but Scooter doesn't have a face. There is no face on Scooter. There's no face. You don't need to put a face. Cartoons aren't made better with faces. Okay, well, I digress.
We now return to the
GoBots.
Thank you. Did you see a sign out front that said dead scooter storage? Did you see a sign out front that said dead scooter storage? Anyway, I can't do that. Yeah, let's just go ahead and we're going to do a test here. We've got Baroness, and we're going to just, she's got the Kung Fu grip. There we go. She's a little bit big for the scooter, but not too bad. Yeah, look at that. Let's go ahead and show that on the side camera. So, yeah, I completely buy that. She's like, yeah, this is my scooter. Yeah, this is a Crimson Guard scooter. It's red and black, so that makes it a Crimson Guard scooter. Boy, Baroness has kind of a fugly looking face there. Oh, that's unfortunate. No wonder she got partnered with Scooter. but so this is a good vehicle mode. This is a really good vehicle mode, and it's an excellent transform, and it's kind of sad that Scooter's part in the cartoon, I'm going to give you Baroness back, was to have a goofy voice and always be cowering. It's like, oh no, Leader One, I don't want to go against Cop-Tur. I mean, I know that we've beat these guys like 200 times so far, but one of these days they might hurt me. Yeah, it's like, don't do that. The only way they could have made it worse is by giving them Daniel. That's or like a little cute alien pet. That Scooter was the cute. You know what? Scooter on that show was Orko. Scooter was Orko. Yeah, they took a really cool toy and they turned it into Orko. Why? What? Okay, I'm not gonna go back into it. I digress. But anyway, so this is his vehicle mode, and he does look great. Now there's a little bit of floppiness here in the front wheel. At some point I might tighten that up, but it looks just fine when it's when it's on a surface. Let's go ahead and change that focus depth. There we go. So he rolls along, and he looks like a scooter from the 80s. He looks great. Love it. And his transform is really good. You extend the legs, that's obvious. And then we're going to take the arms and separate them from the panel in the front here. Take them off to the side. And then we're going to shorten the body and close that panel to reveal the face, and now we have the arms, and you know what? That's a really good robot mode. He looks great. He really does look great. This, does he really strike me as a brawler? No. He's, I completely buy that he is not the warrior type, but he turns into a scooter, and then he turns into a cute little robot. I think I have the arms backwards. Wait here. Let me do this. Okay. Yeah, I have the arms backwards. So there. He's got, and he's always giving you a thumbs up. Well, that's positive. So, yeah, he's got a little bit of a foil sticker issue here. At some point, maybe I'll try and get a new sticker for him. But Machiavellic says, at least he's not snarfing Snarf. Oh, no, Lionel, Snarf. Yeah, at least he didn't have to say his name over and over again. He didn't refer to himself in third person. So I will give them that. But boy, they did everything else but. Did you... Okay, Does anybody remember the Punky Brewster cartoon? Okay, do you remember Glomer? Scooter's voice, Glomer, and I want to say, please tell me that I'm wrong about this, but something in the back of my head is telling me that Frank Welker did the voice of Scooter. I want to be wrong about that. Please, somebody tell me I was right. Okay, now I need to drink. Decepticons! Attack! Or you could retreat, and really you could go either way with it. So, yeah, that's... Oh, gosh. But nonetheless, Scooter is a cool toy. He is great. I have seen Scooter at Action Toy Man. They had one, and it was $20. And I just wasn't quite willing to go $20 for Scooter. I ended up spending more on my Select Converters Colt, but you know, I was always tempted. I was always very tempted. He was Frank Welker was also Glomer. Okay, well, you know what? A toast to Frank Welker, a man of range. Oh, and he was also Skulk. So he was also Skulk, the guy that rode on. Oh, this is Skulk. I didn't know that Skulk had a voice. Because I never saw the show for Sectars, but nonetheless. Okay, so yeah, Frank Welker. And I'm receiving more messages here. More messages. My stuff went kablooey. Give me a sec. Well, I'm just gonna go on if that's all right. I'm gonna keep going. Yes, you do you. You'll be good. But if I can't drink because there's no music, that's what's going on here. So yeah, we got Scooter. Scooter is great. Love Scooter. So glad to have him. I'm gonna put him into his pseudo Scooter mode, which you have to pull it out to be able to fold the legs up, and then we're just going to do that, and that should fit him into his cubby. So let's go back here. We'll put Scooter safely into his cubby, and now we're going to pull out one of the coolest GoBots ever created. This is Road Ranger. Road Ranger. So he was kind of the poor man's Optimus Prime. And really, he was more of a poor man's Ultra Magnus, because you could actually you could have him like pulling turbo around there. He was a tractor trailer, and gosh, what a neat transform. I mean, just a really, really cool transform. So he's a rig. His trailer is attached, and it pivots. He looks great in vehicle mode. I think that the only thing that really hurts his vehicle mode is that this shoulder joint is blue. If it were red, I think it would work a lot better, but I understand that, they molded it as, the arms were on the same sprue as the shoulder joint, so they were molded blue, and this red part is all cast, die cast metal. So essentially, he was molded all in blue, and then some of these things were chromed, but so they didn't have the option to mold this in red. I still think it would look better in red. You know, maybe at some point I'll add a red sticker or something just to make it blend in better. But other than that, and I think that it would have been nice if they had continued the silver on the bumper here. Nonetheless, those are little aesthetic things, but he is so cool. The way that this works is really neat, and it's so effective. And then his transform is great. You fold up the trailer here, you spread out the arms here, and then you push up the joint, which locks everything into place and reveals the head. And he has this beefy brawler robot mode, and he looks awesome. He really looks awesome. I mean, this is the Gobot. Like if you only had to choose, if you could only choose one at the store, you got Road Ranger, because he is awesome just in every way. His proportions are great, and he's kind of husky, and he has a great transform. He's just an awesome toy. There's really, I can nitpick at the aesthetics, but the whole thing as a design is just amazing. I love this guy. And, a lot of times when kids didn't have Optimus Prime, but they had Road Ranger, then, blue and red truck. Savage Shark wants to see cars on the back of his trailer. And you know what? We can do that. Because we actually started out that way. We got so we do that. We will put them right there. And we will put Turbo right there, huh? Yeah. And see, that works. That works really, really well. Perfectly sized. And, again, Gobots had scale. Now, granted, this is, he's a very small tractor trailer in relation to the size of this car. But the fact that you can put Turbo on him, I mean, that's cool. Come on. That is cool. That's just... And you can transform him back and forth, and he's fun. It's like, oh yeah, I'm Road Ranger here. I'm gonna go do Road Ranger stuff. I'm gonna beat up on Psykill because I can, because I'm a truck. And that's what he would do, because he's Road Ranger and he's a truck. So, gosh, yeah, Road Ranger. Morton. Motorin. So, something's a spice of life. I don't know. I don't know the song very well. My lips are chapped. I'm sorry. I'll quench them with a little bit of this. So, let's see. You're motoring. What's your price for flight? If you're finding Mr. Right, you'll be alright tonight. Oh gosh, that song always gets me right here. So, I apologize for that. And with that, we are going to put Road Ranger back in his little cubby. So, let's open the cubby, put Road Ranger back in here. And we've already done Cop-Tur. So now we are getting to a star of the show. This is Leader 2. Leader 2, because he's still named Leader 1. But this is the second Leader 1 that's done in the blue and yellow star color scheme. I'm not digging the white here. It doesn't look right. It's kind of out of place with everything else. I've never been a big fan of the stars. Yeah, it's a little like the original Leader 1 may have been kind of bland, but he looked like a military jet, and this one looks like a show jet, like something that you'd see at an air event where he's skywriting or something. That's just me. I've always really liked the design of Leader 1. The design of the toy. It's an excellent toy. This is a good-looking jet. And it's a great-looking toy. It's a great-looking mold. I've just never been a fan of the stars and the yellow and the strangely placed white bit here. His transform is really good. It's a really good transform for a Gobot. You extend the legs and they come out much further than good knights. I'm just going to point out. You flip down the tail fins here. You fold in the wings. You fold the nose cone down against his back. Pinch the shoulders to expose the arms, and then bring those down. And look at that. His body dynamics are really nice. He's got big, broad shoulders and big, husky legs. He is a really nice robot. And see, this is where... Okay, Starscream and the Seekers are awesome. No doubt. You're not going to take away from the coolness of Starscream and the Seekers. But Leader 1... while he doesn't have the cool pointy-uppy upside-down wings and that cool Decepticon silhouette, he does have a really, really convincing jet mode and no pieces that get lost. I don't have to add the fists. I don't have the tail fins falling off because they're on little tiny pegs, and in the instructions you actually are supposed to take off all of the wings for some reason, which nobody ever did. You just twist them around, but they like to fall off because they are just pegged into holes. And so a lot of times on the secondary market you see a Gen 1 Seeker and it's really just a stick. It'll have the two main wings and maybe the tails, and good luck with the fists or the tail wings. Not with Leader 1. Leader 1 had a really well-proportioned robot mode and a really nice transform from every angle, and it was all in one toy. No extra pieces. Just a really nice, and at a much smaller scale. I have Super Leader 1, which is exactly the same, just scaled up, and I love that toy. It's, and it's a great one to pull out and have alongside your Seekers, just as a comparison. Now, yes, it's a simple transform for a larger scale toy, and maybe there's an element of you kind of want there to be a little bit more, but he's got pull out landing gear that's functional, and the details look great. So Leader 1 is awesome. He is just awesome, and this is a really nice condition of the second version of Leader 1, which I affectionately call Leader 2, because he's just such a great toy, and I don't think that people remember how cool this toy was. Think back to 1983 when you got a Leader 1, and it was this. So, Machiavellic says, I feel like the Gobots are much better than toy history makes them out to be. They suffered from Adam West syndrome. Yes, exactly. I think that a lot of, because it there became this sort of rivalry between Transformers and GoBots, well, there's obviously a rivalry between Transformers and GoBots, but I think that fans inherited that rivalry. And there were a lot of fans that when they, because Transformers was the cool thing, and especially in our formative years when, when it was decided that Transformers was the cool thing and you were the kid that came to school with GoBots, all of a sudden you weren't the cool kid because your toys weren't the cool toys. And looking back, and that's one of the things that I like to bring up in these live streams, is showing the toys for what they really were. Not what our impressions of them were because of social status. But, these guys, they were awesome. And honestly, Transformers was a juggernaut, and they had better marketing, and they had a better show, and the people that, Hasbro, they made a lot of mistakes with the Gen 1 line, but at its core, the things they did really well, and they made a lot of good decisions early on, and they made better decisions than Tonka did when they were adapting the Machine Robo line. They just did. Transformers had the better show. They had more consistent marketing. They were better at branding them. They put Autobot and Decepticon stickers on so that at an instant which faction they were. And they even went further than that, because if you look at the color schemes of the Autobots and Decepticons, Autobots were bright colors, primaries and bright secondary colors. Decepticons were dark colors, purples, grays, blacks. The Constructicons weren't orange. When I was a kid, every construction vehicle that I ever saw was either orange or yellow. The Constructicons, they were green and purple. You knew at an instant that there was something that was just a little bit not right about them. And that was because there were some people at Hasbro that understood the value of the identifiability of the characters and what they represented in terms of the story. And they valued that story. And they were consistent in telling that story over and over again, even if the story was a little bit different from time to time. GoBots was all over the place. And Marvel. That's Marvel was creating that story. And Marvel have always been very good storytellers. And Tonka didn't have that. Machine Robo didn't have that. And Hanna-Barbera, let's face it, Hanna-Barbera's done a whole bunch of stuff, but they're not really known for, high quality. So, Tracy says, I may never forgive you. I have Sister Christian by Night Ranger stuck in my head now. Motorin'! We can't play it because we'll get a copyright strike. But this is for you, Tracy. You're welcome. So, well, you know what? We've got more GoBots in the box, but it is 9 o'clock on a work night. And so yeah, why don't we, we've gotten to look at Leader 1. So I'm going to do one more special request that did not come in the box, but we're going to look at her anyway because she's awesome. And one of my personal favorite GoBot characters from the show and in toy form. We are going to look, and while I'm doing that, I'm transforming Leader 1 to put him back in the box. We are going to take a look at Crasher. That's right, it's Crasher. I know I've shown Crasher before, but I love Crasher. Crasher is just one of the neatest toys. And there were actually a couple versions. There is a white version that I do not have, and I desperately, desperately want. She turns into a race car. She was kind of Turbo's rival in the show. And honestly, I feel like she would have kicked Turbo's sorry butt. And she looks like she would kick Turbo's sorry butt. I mean, she's bigger, she's meaner. This is just a cool thing. And I love the kind of smoked plastic here for the windshield and the headlights. And then her transform is really, really cool. You pull out the legs like this. And then you pull out the arms. And I know that it's a very simple transform, but it's effective. Then you pivot the front end of the car down this way, and you can put the arms down, and that exposes the face. And there she is. And you can just imagine her cackling sadistically the way that she did constantly in the show. I mean, she was easily the best part of the show. She had the most personality, and once again, Hasbro had to be convinced to put RC in the movie. Okay, that had to be fought for. This is one thing that I will give credit to Hanna-Barbera and Tonka. They didn't care. They had Crasher as their leading adversary. I mean, she was the right hand of Psykill. And it wasn't like Psykill, Cop-Tur, and Crasher. It was Psykill and Crasher, and then Cop-Tur was just kind of the thug. Okay, she was the one, like, she was the big gun. Okay, it wasn't even Psykill that was the big gun. It was like Psykill, when he needed to beat somebody up, he sent Crasher. And that's awesome. And that says, that is pretty cool that they were that forward thinking at the time, and that she had such a prominent presence, and that her character and her form were just so iconic. Yeah, it's one of the best things that the show did, and they did it to a toy that really deserves the fanfare, because this robot mode looks great. She just looks great, and her proportions are awesome. She's got broad shoulders and big legs. She looks like a brawler. She looks like she would kick your butt, and she would. That's the thing. And then you turn her into a race car, which is, it's a few steps, but they're interesting steps. I love the way that the legs go underneath the passenger compartment here, and then these things meet up so that it completes this shape here. Everything about her is just beautifully designed. She just goes together so well, and her colors work. The orange on black with white accents, just everything about her is excellent. She is easily one of my favorite GoBots, if not my very favorite. And that says a lot, because I love my GoBots, and I love Crasher. So, yeah. Crasher is really awesome. Like I said, she didn't actually come in the box, but she's so cool that we get to talk about her anyway, because GoBots are cool and Crasher is cool. And so that brings us to the end. We will pick this up again, maybe next week. Maybe we'll do the rest of the GoBots that are in this box, and then throw out some other ones that are related in different ways, and that is it. So that and Savage Shark says, my favorite is when she would spit spin in the air to transform just before crashing to the ground and driving off. Yeah, you know, they actually did cool things with her like that. So, you know, Savage Shark, I am going to toast you and toast everybody for showing up on a Wednesday night. Thank you for kind of joining me in a night to relax and not think about anything other than how awesome GoBots were. You know, like they say on Toy Galaxy, coming in number 2 isn't that bad. So, thank you, Savage Shark. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Machiavellic. Thank you, Kyoji. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Amanda, even though you weren't here, Machiavellic, you can tell her that I said thank you. Thank you, Cheeky Boy. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Soren. Soren's here, that's right. I can toast Soren with the approved. Yes, Tracy, we all needed a break. So, thank you all so much for joining me on a Wednesday night. You guys make these live streams worth doing, and I couldn't do them without you. So thank you so much. If you know anybody that you think would enjoy these live streams, please spread the word, because we're constantly trying to grow. Give it a thumbs up, because thumbs ups mean good on YouTube. And if you haven't already subscribed. And other than that, have a wonderful evening. On Friday, we've got Dawn coming up to join us for a co-host live stream all about Reflector, the combiner that turns into a camera. But it's a really tough camera? I don't know. But so, we have that to look forward on Friday. Other than that, have a wonderful evening. Good night.